Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Yasir Hussain from Pakistan Studies Department, Army Public School and College, Ordnance Road. It's lecture number 3 from chapter number 5, and today's topic is that of General Zia Ul Haq Era from 1977 to 1988. The objectives of our lecture and topic are: critically review the 11-year rule of General Zia Ul Haq and identify the major aspects of Islamization process during 1977 to 1988. Before starting today's topic, just recall and remember the previous lecture in which we have discussed about that of the impacts of nationalization on industry, education, trade and commerce. Remember, it was Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's era during which different type of nationalization reforms were brought. Then during the same time period, we have discussed about the key aspects of the Constitution of 1973, which was promulgated in 1973 on August 14th. Now, with the linking that after the time period of Bhutto, now it's a time period of General Zia Ul Haq, so we will have to discuss it in this lecture. Dear students, now we are going to start today's topic, that is the General Zia Ul Haq Era 1977 to 1988. Before directly going into the topic, we should know the background of how General Zia Ul Haq came into power. So therefore, in this regard, just remember that in the previous lecture we have discussed that Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's era till 1977. So 1977, the 5-year term of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's government was completed. Therefore, it was the year of the elections. So general elections were announced. During these elections, all parties, political parties of the country, they decided to fight against Pakistan People's Party. So they formed an alliance commonly known as PNA, or Pakistan National Alliance. Maulana Mufti Mahmud, the father of Maulana Fazlur Rahman of Jamiyat Ulama Islam, was its head at that time. So the National Assembly elections were held on 7th of March 1977. During these elections, Pakistan People's Party won with a great majority. Now the National Alliance blamed Pakistan People's Party of rigging in the elections and boycotted the provincial elections, which were going to be held on 10th of March. And the countrywide protests were started. Therefore, the elections were declared invalid. A movement called Nizam-e-Mustafa was started, and the situation when go beyond the control, the then Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto invited the National Alliance for negotiations. Negotiations were still in progress between the two parties when the then Army Chief General Zia Ul Haq overthrew the Bhutto's government and declared martial law on 5th July 1977. General Zia Ul Haq imposed martial law because of the uncertain situation in the country. There was a chaos developed because of the fighting between the political parties. Therefore, he declared martial law. He ruled the country for about 11 years, from 1977 to 88. During his rule, he brought a number of changes in the law of 1973, amendments he introduced. The most important thing he introduced is Islamization, Shariat Courts in the country. Then he also started jihad against Russia in 1979 with the alliance with USA, America, and it defeated the Russia, the superpower at that time. Then General Zia Ul Haq was died in an air crash on August 17th, 1988. After which, the then Chairman Senate, Ghulam Ishaq Khan, became the caretaker president of Pakistan. It's according to the Constitution of Pakistan that whenever a president dies or whenever a president goes for a visit outside the country to any foreign country for 1 day, 2 days or more, then the Chairman Senate became the caretaker president. Dear students, 11 years long rule of General Zia Ul Haq witnessed a number of events. The most important measures of his government include the Islamization process, Shariat Courts in Pakistan. So here we are going to now discuss about the major aspects of the Islamization process in Pakistan during 1977 to 1988. It is also known as the Sharia Ordnance, which includes a number of things like Hudud Ordinance, prohibition of alcohol, adultery ordinance, then media reforms, Ramazan Ordinance, and so on. All these include. General Zia Ul Haq promised to promulgate Sharia in the country when he came into power. So he started working on it and announced a number of measures. As I have told it, Zia Ul Haq became famous for his Islamization process. Dear students, now we are going to discuss the major aspects of Islamization process. Number one of your syllabus is that of the setting of the Sharia courts. Shariat benches were set up in all the high courts on 10th February 1979. In these benches, ulama were appointed as the judges. The Shariat courts instead of Shariat benches were set up in 1980 then, which hears appeals against the decisions of their subservient courts and interprets Islam. The appeals against the decision of the federal Shariat courts are heard by the Shariat Appellate Bench of the Supreme Court. Remember that these Shariat courts are different from the modern courts, which we call the session courts, high courts, supreme courts. These are known as Shariat courts because they interpret the Islamic rules and laws, and according to that they give the decisions. So therefore it was different, and its purpose is to implementation of Shariat in the country, promulgation of Shariat in the country. Number 2 point is that of the implementing Shariat Ordinance. Now, for this purpose, the government actually issued and passed an ordinance which was known as Shariat Ordinance in 1979. So according to this ordinance, all the matters of stealing, drinking, alcohol, rape and other crimes would be dealt with under the Sharia law. हदूद ऑर्डिनेंस 20 को कहा जाता है. Students, number 3 point is that of Zakat and Ushur ordinance. Dear students, you know that Zakat is one of the compulsory obligations like namaz. तमाम मुसलमान जो साहिब इस्तिताअत हैं, जिनके पास 7.5 तोले सोना, 52.5 तोले चांदी या इसके इक्वल अमाउंट है, वो ये लाजिम है उनके ऊपर कि वो ज़कात अदा करें. वो अपने तौर पे ज़कात अदा करते हैं, बट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम ड्यू टू दिस इस्लामाइजेशन प्रोसेस ऑफ जनरल ज़िया उल हक, ये ऑर्डिनेंस आया, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस ऑर्डिनेंस 2.5% of zakat is deducted from the bank accounts of all the Muslims on 1st of Ramazan every year. ये अभी भी होता है और 1st रमज़ान को बैंक हॉलीडे होता है, बैंक ऑफ करते हैं, पब्लिक जो डीलिंग है उसको, और ये कटिंग होती है ज़कात के उसके ऊपर. This zakat money is being distributed among the deserving people by the zakat councils. पूरा एक सेटअप है, उसके ज़रिए से वहाँ पे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है. 10% usher deduction from the annual agriculture produce was started in 1983. Usher basically agriculture produce के ऊपर होता है. एग्रीकल्चर क्रॉप्स, फसलें जितनी भी हैं उनके ऊपर जो ज़कात निकाली जाती है उसको उशर कहते हैं. देयर इज़ 10%. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज़ दैट ऑफ द एबोलिशन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. इंटरेस्ट इस्लाम में इसको हराम करार दिया गया है. इंटरेस्ट का मतलब सिंपल इज़ दैट व्हेन यू आर लेंडिंग 1000 रुपीज़ टू समवन, and after 1 month or 1 year you are demanding from him what 1100, 1200 and so on. That is the interest. So for abolition of interest, accounts were opened on the basis of profit and loss on 1st January 1981, and all saving accounts were converted to PLS account from 1st July 1984. PLS means profit and loss sharing account. Before that it was all saving account. When you are opening an account which is fixed, it means you are just depositing say 1000 rupees in your account. After 1 year the bank will give you 1100 rupees. So 100 more, that will be interest. The next point is regarding Islamiyat and Pakistan studies as compulsory subjects. In order to harmonize the educational system with Islam, this step has been taken, and the study of Islamiyat and Pakistan studies were made compulsory up to bachelor levels, BA, in all the educational institutions. And you can see that you are studying Islamiyat, Pakistan studies. This is the lecture of Pakistan studies. Until the bachelors, you will have to study it as a compulsory subject along with Islamiyat. The next point is that of the prayer arrangements. Arrangements were made in all the educational institutions and government offices for offering Zuhr prayers. Break, especially for the Zuhr prayers, were made compulsory, Jamaat namaz, and so on. So prayer committees were formed to attract the people towards prayers. So likewise, Ihtaram Ramazan ordinance was passed. The people not observing the sanctity of the month of Ramazan could be jailed for 3 months and fined 500 rupees as well. So it's basically for the respecting Ramazan. Number 8 point is that of the religious schools, madaris. During Zia's regime, many religious schools or madrasas were looked after by the government, and they were given annual grants, funds. Their degrees were considered equal to masters. फाजिल अरबी वगैरह उसको मास्टर्स के इक्वल में इस्लामियात के इक्वल करार दिया गया. Number 9 point is that of the compulsory study of Arabic. The study of the Arabic language was made compulsory from class 6 to class 8. Its purpose was to provide better understanding while reciting Quran Majid. Number 10 point is that of the International Islamic University in Islamabad was started in 1981 for Islamic learning and law research. It was first established in the Faisal Mosque, but now it's in H8 sector, where this university is giving a lot of disciplines, education, along with the Islamic learning and research. Number 11 and the last point is that of the setting up of a Shariat faculty. Shariat faculty was set up in Qaid-e-Azam University in Islamabad, which would provide the teaching of Hadith, Fiqh and Islamic law. Faculty means a type of teaching faculty which will definitely provide learning and teaching of Hadith, Fiqh and Islamic laws and their interpretations. Dear students, now just have a quick recap of today's lecture. That is, we have discussed two main topics. One was that of we have reviewed the 11-year rule of General Zia Ul Haq from 1977 to 88. And the second important topic is that of the major aspects of Islamization process during the same period. Now it's time to give you work at home and assignment, and that is you will have to again read and highlighting these two pages 12 and 13. You will have to just learn these concepts. Then today I'm giving you one long question, so you will have to write this answer in your notebooks. It's long question number 2 from your exercise, and question is explain the efforts made for Islamization between 1977 and 1988. So all these points we have discussed. There are 11 points you can find on page number 12 and 13. That is the answer of this question. Then there are 2 extra questions, short questions from the text. These are: what do you know about Zakat and Ushur ordinance? And then, what is meant by Ihtaram Ramazan ordinance? You can find these answer from the text as well. We have discussed earlier. Dear students, do complete the tasks given to you well within time. And regarding any question, any query, you can ask in the group. You are always welcome. Just take care. Allah Hafiz.